Imagine being able to memorize entire encyclopedias of information. Not with notes, not with books, but with the sheer power of the mind. Does that sound like a superpower? This fascinating idea is explored by the author Lynne Kelly in her book, The Memory Code. She describes so-called memory palaces, a technique that allows for storing vast amounts of information. And what's most interesting? Kelly proposes a compelling hypothesis that this very method could have been mastered by prehistoric and ancient civilizations, allowing them to retain generations of knowledge without a single written word. How could they have done it? How might they have remembered everything necessary for survival without writing? The answer, according to this hypothesis, lies hidden in the landscape around us and in the ancient monuments that we still admire today. The idea of a memory palace is simple at its core. A person mentally visualizes a familiar place, a house, a path they walk every day, and stores the information they want to remember in different parts of that place. Then, to recall the information, they simply walk through this mental palace and the information comes to them, prompted by the familiar locations. In the memory code, Lynne Kelly argues that this is exactly how pre-literate oral cultures could have functioned. Their memory palace was the landscape itself. For nomadic peoples, hunters and gatherers, all their essential knowledge, where to find water, which plants are edible, where the animals migrate, could have been encoded into significant features in the landscape. Every stone, every tree, every rock could have been a carrier of key information. By walking through familiar territory, they would constantly repeat and activate their knowledge. But what might have happened when these nomadic cultures settled down? When hunters and gatherers became farmers, firmly tied to one piece of land, it was no longer practical or possible to travel vast territories. This is where a fascinating part of the theory comes into play. It's proposed that people began to concentrate these memory points from the landscape into one smaller location. They started to build artificial monuments that could serve as new, condensed memory palaces. This leads to a truly mind-bending hypothesis that it might have been for this very purpose that structures like Stonehenge and other impressive prehistoric sites were created. This theory invites us to imagine Stonehenge not just as an astronomical observatory or a place for rituals, but as a potential stone library. Each stone, its position, its relationship to the others, could have encoded centuries of accumulated knowledge. And this concept isn't limited to European megaliths. The memory code presents a wealth of examples from across the globe, suggesting this was a universal human practice. For instance, the Luba people in Central Africa use a device known as a lukasa, or memory board. These are intricately carved wooden boards studded with beads and shells. To an outsider, they are abstract art, but to a Luba historian, each bead, each line, is a trigger point in a memory journey, unlocking complex histories, genealogies, and cultural laws. It's a handheld memory palace. Similarly, we can look to the songlines of Indigenous Australians. These are not just songs, but complex maps of the land, encoding knowledge about navigation, water sources, and sacred sites into melody and rhythm. By singing the song, one could navigate vast, often featureless territories. The land and the song become one, a living, breathing repository of knowledge. Or consider the quipu of the Inca Empire. These were intricate assemblies of knotted strings, long dismissed as simple accounting tools. But a growing body of research, which Kelly's work aligns with, suggests they may have been a sophisticated three-dimensional memory system, capable of recording stories and histories, all encoded in the type of knot, its position, and the color of the string. What all these methods, lukasa, the songlines, the quipu, and potentially even Stonehenge, have in common is that they are tangible physical systems for encoding knowledge, deeply integrated with ritual and performance. It raises the question, did we lose something with the invention of writing? Did our brains, no longer needing to rely on such elaborate systems, let these powerful abilities lie dormant? That innate ability is likely still within us, sleeping and waiting to be awakened. And perhaps looking at ancient monuments and cultural artifacts as huge, complex memory palaces is a key, not only to understanding the past, but also to unlocking the hidden potential of our own minds.